Thank you, Mike. Rand Paul, one of the candidates who wants to replace retiring Kentucky Senator Jim Bunning in the U.S. Senate. He's with us this morning as he is in Louisville for a fundraiser later today. Thank you for coming.
Glad to be with you.
You, this week, have seen in other states how the Tea Party movement has really gotten behind candidates, even a virtual unknown in Delaware who was successful in a primary, and you've been riding that wave as well. How would you say the Tea Party movement is a little different than the typical Republican ideology?
Well, the interesting thing is we share a lot of the same beliefs. I am a Republican and I am from the Tea Party. I tell people, though, that the Tea Party, I think, is equal parts chastisement to both parties over not doing a good enough job over the debt. So when I go and interview with the Tea Party in Louisville or Lexington, they will tell me, if the Republicans vote to increase the debt, we want you to oppose them also. It's not just about political party, it's about the fact that we're concerned and worried about how large the debt has become.
If you are elected to the U.S. Senate, how then do you go into Washington, which is typically a two-party work-it-out kind of system,
right,
and then still carry those values and make that voice heard?
Well, I think in some ways the Tea Party allows us to bridge the difference because the Tea Party doesn't see things in terms of Republican versus Democrat. We see things in terms of either the debt's good or the debt's bad. The president thinks more deficit spending is good and you'll stimulate the economy. We think that means borrowing more money from our kids, our grandkids, and from China, and that's long-term not good for a country. But I think we can reach across because I don't accuse Democrats of always being wrong or Republicans always being right. In fact, both of them have been wrong, so I think we might be able to bridge the difference and work together and not talk so much about what political party you're from, but whether you think deficit spending's good or whether you think deficit spending's bad.
You have on a red penny. It's hard to tell from the lights, but that is a red penny on your lapel, and that sort of represents your take on deficit spending.
And it comes from the Louisville Tea Party. Someone here in Louisville, a grassroots group, started making them. I think they're painted with some kind of fingernail polish, and they gave them out, and their saying was, "Not 1 red cent more. They've taken enough of my money, taxed enough already." And that's sort of what the penny represents.
Does the government not have to spend more to stimulate this economy, or is that not the answer?
No, I think it's the wrong answer. The thing is there's a competition going on between government and private enterprise. I want to leave more money in Kentucky with private enterprise, individual businessmen and women to create jobs. The Democrats, President Obama particularly, want more of that money sent to Washington. But it's not even that. They want to borrow money to spend. You can't borrow your way into prosperity.
Jack Conway released an ad this week that criticizes you for not being tough on crime. Using your own words, how do you respond to this allegation that he thinks you are not going to be tough on people who aren't felons?
Well, I think it's a dishonest ad would be the first thing I'd say. What we were discussing a couple of years ago on KET was whether or not things like motorcycle helmets and the lottery should be illegal because they're immoral or because they're unsafe. And my point was that there are certain things that adults can make a decision on. What that ad does is he totally distorts it and wants to say, oh, I want to allow minors to use drugs, which is an absolute falsehood and untrue.
Today you've got a fundraiser with Sarah Palin,
Right.
and where are you off to after that?
Then I'll be heading back to Bowling Green. I'm still working as a physician, and so people say, well, why aren't you campaigning all the time? So, well, I've got a mortgage.
You're still seeing patients.
Yeah, I've got a mortgage. The people who encourage me to quit working and do that say, are you going to pay my mortgage for me?
Right.
So, no, I still continue to work, and I see patients. I saw patients all day yesterday, and at lunchtime had a press conference in the downtown square in Bowling Green. So it keeps me busy juggling both a medical career and running for office.
Well, I'd say it does. Thank you for stopping in to talk with us. I appreciate it.